Transform your Salesforce UI with perfect blend of style and functionality using Lightning Card in LWC. Welcome everyone. In today's session, we are going to talk about Lightning Card in LWC. So without wasting any time further, let's proceed with the video. Now a Lightning Card is a container for displaying related information with a header and a body. So with the help of a Lightning Card, you can provide a container and rest of the other components you can keep inside the body of this specific container. Now this container can also have headers and footers, and you can include plenty of things inside headers and of course some buttons or links inside footers to make it look a perfect standard card. Now you might have also noticed that all the components that you are using over there in LWC appears on a transparent background and it makes it look not that cool, right? But with the help of Lightning Card, it will look better, standard and cooler. Lightning Card adds structure and visual clarity to our Lightning Web components, and it includes optional footer for additional actions or details. Key features of Lightning Card. So we have header in the Lightning Card which helps us to display the title of the card, and we can also include an icon over there. The title can be anything, for example, account details. The body holds the main content of the card such as fields, data, chart or whatsoever you want to show over there. And footer, which is one of the optional component, is useful for actions like links or buttons. So if you want to include any kind of link or any kind of button over there, definitely footer is the place where you will use it. Now let's have a live demo overview. We will add a Lightning Card to our component template, and then we will customize the title and icon and add content in the body and the footer. So what are we waiting for? Let's quickly hit to the VS Code and create a Lightning Web component with the help of Lightning Card. So guys, here I am on my VS Code, and as you can see, I have created a create account Lightning Web component, and just like any other LWC, I will first go to the meta file, and inside the meta file, I will expose this component by setting is exposed as true, and I will also include the targets, and inside the targets, I will include the target tag where I will attach it or expose it to the app page. So that will be Lightning app page. Now let's move on to the HTML part of it. So let me close this, open the HTML, and inside the HTML I'm going to include the Lightning Card. So here you can see I have included the Lightning Card tag, and in the Lightning Card I have included an attribute as title. Now this specific attribute will decide the title of the Lightning Card and will be shown in the header part of it. I have included two divs inside this Lightning Card. Now in one of the div I have mentioned the slot as footer. Now for a while I am keeping this as comment. So just like an HTML comment, I will start it with exclamation dash dash, and I will end it with dash dash and the closing bracket or the closing angular bracket. So this will be comment for now. So I am not having any footer for now. I am just having a title and I am just having a body. Now inside the body, which is a normal div of the Lightning Card, I have just included a text and nothing else. Now let me deploy this and show you how this Lightning Card will look like. So I will right click, I will click on deploy this source to org. Now let's go to the org, and on the org I will go to my first app page. That is nothing but my custom app page, and I will edit this app page to include that specific Lightning Card. So for that I will go to the gear icon on the right side, right click on edit page, and will open this in new tab. On the Lightning App Builder, on the left side, I will collapse the standard and will drag and drop this create account LWC, which is including the Lightning Card, and will just save. And now we'll go back to my first app page and refresh it. So you can clearly see a card has been included over here. This card is having a title as hello, and this card is having a body written as card body. Now I'm going to make few changes over here. So let's go back to the VS Code. Now the first change that I will do here is I will change the title and I will mention it as add account form. Now inside the body or inside the div, I am going to include few components. Now all these components that I am going to include here are those normal Lightning input elements. So here I am going to include two lightning input elements, one for the account name and one for the annual revenue. So you can see I have included two lightning input over here. The first one is for account name, the second is for annual revenue. Now let me quickly deploy this. Over here I will right click on inspect, and then I will right click on the refresh and click on empty cache and hard reload. And now you can see a lightning card is appearing over here with the title add account form and two lightning input to accept an account name and an annual revenue. Now this card is quite basic card. If you want to include icons and if you want to include custom title and footer, you can modify that as well. Now let me show you how you will do that. So let me show you a lightning card with a custom title and a footer. Now to make that change, all that you need to do is to include one more div over here, and to that div you can add the slot as title, and inside here you can mention the title. So here I am mentioning the title as add account form, and because I'm just adding a normal text, instead of this as div, I can also make it as a paragraph or a heading like H2 or something. So here this header is a title with the title add account form. And why it is a title? Because I mentioned the slot as title. I can also include some icon over here. Now to include an icon, there is a lightning icon tag available in LWC. So I'm going to use that lightning icon tag here inside this H2 itself and before the title itself. So here I will use lightning icon, and inside the lightning icon I need to mention an icon name attribute. Now in the icon name attribute I will mention the name of the icon provided by LWC itself. Now LWC provides us plenty of predefined icons. Now let me show you how you will open that. Now to see all the predefined icons provided by Salesforce, you need to go to lightningdesignsystem.com. So it is lightningdesignsystem.com/icons. Now this page will show you all the utility icons, all the doc type icons, all the standard and custom icons, and all the action type of icons. Now I am going to work on standard icons because I am working on accounts. So I will look for an icon that will represent an account. If you want to search, you can also use this search tab. So here I am mentioning account. And here you can see these are the different account icons that I can use. Now out of this, I am going to use this account. Now how to include this? So in the icon name, you first need to mention the type of the icon. So the type over here is standard. So first of all, I will mention standard, then colon, and then the name of the icon. So here in the icon name, I will mention standard colon account. So let me show you that. So here I am typing in standard and account. So this will show a standard account icon over there just before the add account form. So this is becoming our custom title that we are showing over there. Other than that, I also need to work on the footer. So in the footer part, I will just include one single button with the name add. So what I will do is I will uncomment this div with the slot footer, and after that, instead of this card footer, what I will do is I will use a lightning button. Now I know I haven't explained about lightning button, but it is not that much complex, and I will explain about lightning button in a future video in detail. For now, I will just include lightning button and a label inside it and nothing else. So let me remove the rest of the attributes, which I will explain in the future video. So this is just a lightning button tag with a label attribute where I'm going to rename it as add. And that's it. So right now in my lightning card, if I show you, it is having an S2 with slot as title, including a lightning icon. The icon name I mentioned as standard account. Here I mentioned the title as add account form. In the div, which is for the body, I'm having two input elements, and a div with slot as footer, I'm having a button. Now let me deploy this. Go back to my org. Again, I will right click over here on the refresh and click on empty cache and hard reload. And here you can see this specific icon is appearing over there. You can certainly add some space over here so that there should be some space between the icon and the title. And you can see the components, the two lightning input components over there, and an add button under the footer section. Now we can make it look better because you can see the lightning input element is touching both the borders on the right side, and even the text and the icon is not having any space in between them. Now, how to do that? To attain such thing, Lightning provides us a predefined styling. Now, I'm going to just paste it over there and you can copy and paste it right away. We are going to discuss about lightning design system in future, and then I'm going to explain you how these lightning design system works. But right now I'm just going to include a predefined value over there so that some style can be added over here. So to do that, let's go back to our VS Code, and here inside the div, which is actually for the body, I'm going to include a class, and to the value of this class I'm going to provide this predefined text, which is slds p horizontal underscore small. Now you might be wondering what it is. Actually, Salesforce provides us with some predefined classes, and by including these classes in our LWC, we are actually using some predefined CSS. Now this specific CSS is to add some small padding around that specific component, so which I am going to use here, and after the icon I am going to include an ampersand NBSP. Now ampersand NBSP is to provide a blank space. So after this icon I am going to provide a blank space over there and then add account form. Now let me redeploy it. Go back to my org, right click on the refresh button and click on empty cache and hard reload. And now you can see it is looking better and standard. The components that we were including earlier was not that cool as it is appearing now. So that's the benefit of lightning card. Definitely I'm not going to include any interactivity right now, which we will see later down the line, but this is how you can include a lightning card. Now, is this the only way we can do it? No, definitely not. There are plenty of other ways as well, and in the future videos I will tell you how you can use or choose any specific way out of all those available options. Now, real life use case. Lightning card can be used to display account details in a dashboard if you want to show that, or suppose if you want to create a card for key metrics in a sales app, or if you want to show notification in a sidebar component. Now I'm telling you some of the examples that you can use in real life, some common mistakes to avoid. First of all, overloading the card with too much information is really a bad option to choose. Don't include too many informations in one single lightning card, otherwise the lightning card will not solve the purpose for which it was invented. Using mismatched or irrelevant icons, definitely if you are using icons on lightning card, use relevant icons over there. Don't just use any specific icon. And forgetting to test responsiveness for smaller devices. So make sure to check whether this lightning card is responsive enough for smaller devices like tablets or mobile phones. Now that marks the end of this session. See you soon in the next session. Till then, thank you and take care.